I stood at the edge of the open grave, looking down at the cheap pine casket, and I felt nothing. Actually, that is a lie. I felt something. I felt relief. I know how that sounds. I know that makes me sound like a monster, but you have to understand who my mother was, or rather, who I thought she was. To me, my mother was a source of constant embarrassment. She was the woman with the stained apron who smelled like bleach and onions. She was the woman who counted pennies at the grocery store checkout line while people sighed behind us. She was the woman who never understood my dreams, who told me to be realistic, who seemed small and tired and painfully ordinary. I spent my entire life trying to escape her. I tried to scrub the smell of our poverty off my skin. I studied hard. I got the scholarships. I moved to the city. I became a man of importance, a man of wealth. And when I got the call that she had passed away in her sleep, my first thought wasn't grief. It was, now I don't have to pretend anymore. Now I don't have to hide where I come from. I was the definition of an ungrateful son. And I remained one right up until the moment I walked back into her tiny, cluttered apartment to pack up her life. I thought I knew everything about her. I thought her life was small and simple. I thought she had no secrets. But then I found the blue envelopes, and the world as I knew it shattered into a million pieces. If you have ever judged your parents for what they couldn't give you, or if you have ever felt that you deserved more than the life you were born into, you need to listen to this story. It might change the way you look at the people who raised you. Please hit that subscribe button, because we are about to take a journey into the heart of a sacrifice so deep it was invisible. Let me take you back to when I was 10 years old. That was the year the letters started. I grew up without a father. My mother told me he left before I was born. She never spoke about him with anger, only with a vague indifference. She said he wasn't ready. She said he had big plans. I hated him for leaving, but I also fantasized about him. In my head, he wasn't a deadbeat. He was a secret agent. He was an explorer. He was a billionaire who couldn't be with us because it was too dangerous. Then on my 10th birthday, a letter arrived. It was in a thick, expensive blue envelope. There was no return address, just my name typed neatly on the front. I opened it. Inside was a crisp $100 bill and a letter. Oh, dear son, I am sorry I cannot be there. My work takes me to places that are not safe for a child. But I am watching you. I know you are smart. I know you are special. Use this money to buy something that helps you see the world. I am proud of you. Love, the captain. I ran to my mother screaming, "Look, he wrote to me. Dad wrote to me." My mother took the letter. She read it slowly. Her face was unreadable. She looked tired, as she always did. She handed it back to me and said, "Well, that is nice of him. Just don't get your hopes up, Marcus. Men like that, they come and go." I resented her for that. Here was this man, this captain, sending me a fortune, and she couldn't even be happy for me. She was just the lady who scrubbed floors at the hospital. What did she know about the world of the captain? I bought a telescope with the money. I spent nights looking at the stars, imagining my father on a ship somewhere looking up at the same sky. The letters kept coming, every month. A blue envelope, $50, sometimes 100, always with a note. The notes were filled with wisdom. They told me about business. They told me about how to treat women. They told me that I was destined for greatness. They were the voice of the father I craved. My mother, she was the voice of reality. When I wanted the new video game console, she said, "We can't afford it, Marcus. Eat your dinner." When the captain sent me money, the note said, "Buy the game. You need to learn strategy." When I wanted to go to the expensive summer camp, my mother said, "I need you here to help me with the house." The captain sent a check and wrote, "Go to the camp. A man needs to build networks." I began to view my life as a war between two parents. The captain was my ally. He was the wind beneath my wings. He wanted me to fly. My mother was the anchor. She wanted to drag me down to her level of drudgery. She wanted me to be safe, small, and quiet. I graduated high school as valedictorian. My mother sat in the back row wearing her old gray dress. She clapped, but she looked exhausted. I didn't care. I was looking for him. I thought maybe, just maybe, the captain would show up. He didn't, but a blue envelope was waiting for me at home. It had a check for $5,000. For your first semester, the note said, show them who you are. I went to college, I worked hard, I started a business. I became the success story the captain predicted. I stopped coming home for holidays. I sent my mother a card and a generic gift card. I told myself I was too busy, but the truth was I was ashamed of her. I was ashamed of the peeling paint in the apartment. I was ashamed of her rough, red hands. I was ashamed that she was a janitor. I wanted to be the son of the captain, not the son of the cleaning lady. When she died, I hired a service to handle the funeral. I bought the casket. I paid for the plot. I threw money at the problem because I didn't have any tears to give. Then I went to the apartment to authorize the landlord to clear it out. It smelled like old lavender and dust. It felt smaller than I remembered. I walked into her bedroom. It was Spartan, a single bed, a dresser, a crucifix on the wall. I opened the bottom drawer of the dresser, expecting to find old clothes. Instead, I found a metal lockbox. It wasn't locked. I opened it. Inside, there were stacks of papers, but right on top, there was a bundle of blue envelopes. My heart stopped. I thought she kept them. She kept the letters I sent her. No, I never sent her letters. I picked them up. They were blank, unused blue envelopes, the exact same kind the captain used. My hands started to shake. I dug deeper into the box. I found a typewriter, an old, heavy black machine. I recognized the font immediately. It was the font from the letters. I sat down on the floor. The room was spinning. No, it couldn't be. I found a ledger, a small black notebook. My mother's handwriting was inside, but it wasn't the handwriting I knew, the scrawled, messy list she left on the fridge. This was neat, precise. It was an accounting book. Date October 12, 1998. Income extra shift at the hospital $80. Cleaning Mrs. Gable's house $40. Total $120. Expense rent food. Transfer to Captain Fund $50. I flipped the pages month after month, year after year. Date July 4, 2002. Income selling grandma's ring $200. Transfer to Captain Fund $100. Note, Marcus wants the telescope. Date December 20, 2005. Income skip lunch for the month $60. Overtime cleaning floors $150. Transfer to Captain Fund $200. Note, Christmas bonus from Dad. I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was her. It was always her. There was no captain. There was no secret agent father. There was no rich benefactor. It was the cleaning lady. She had created a fictional man, a hero, to give me what she couldn't give me as herself. She knew that a teenage boy wouldn't listen to his tired mother telling him about business or strategy. She knew I wouldn't take money from her if I knew it meant she wasn't eating lunch. So she invented him. She worked double shifts, she scrubbed toilets, she sold her jewelry, she walked to work to save bus fare, she starved herself. All to put money into those blue envelopes. But it wasn't just the money, it was the words. I picked up a piece of paper from the box. It was a draft of one of the letters. She had practiced the tone. She had erased words that sounded too soft, too motherly, and replaced them with words that sounded strong, masculine, fatherly. She had suppressed her own voice to give me the voice I needed. I thought she was simple, I thought she wasn't smart, but the wisdom in those letters, the advice about life, about integrity, about ambition, that came from her. She was the strategist, she was the philosopher, she was the visionary. But she knew that if she said those things to me while wearing her apron, I would roll my eyes, I would ignore her. So she wore a mask for 20 years. She let me love a ghost because she knew it would make me stronger than loving a janitor. She let me resent her, she let me look down on her. She took my disdain and my embarrassment and she swallowed it because she believed that my confidence was more important than her dignity. I looked further into the box. I found a photo of me at my graduation. I am smiling, looking away from the camera, searching the crowd for the captain. In the background of the photo, blurry and out of focus, is my mother. She is looking at me. The look on her face is not exhaustion, it is pure, blinding love and pride. She knew I was looking for him, and she stood there in the shadow of her own creation, happy just to see me shine. I broke. I curled up on the floor of that tiny bedroom and I howled. I cried for the mother I had lost, but mostly I cried for the mother I never bothered to know. I cried for the lunches she didn't eat. I cried for the shoes she wore until they fell apart. I cried for the silence she kept when I bragged about the captain's gifts. How lonely must she have been, to have the person she loved most in the world admire a fiction while treating the reality with contempt. I looked at the ledger again. The last entry was dated 2 weeks ago. Income Social Security check. Transfer to Captain Fund $100. Note for Marcus's birthday, buy him the vintage watch he likes. She was still doing it, even when I was a millionaire, even when I didn't need the money. She was still saving her crumbs to send me a signal that I was loved by a powerful force. I didn't need the money, I needed her, and now it was too late. I drove to the cemetery that night. The gates were locked, so I climbed the fence. I found the patch of fresh dirt where she was buried. There was no headstone yet, just a plastic marker. I sat in the dirt. I took the bundle of blue envelopes and I placed them on the grave. I talked to her, I told her everything. I told her that I knew. I told her that she was the captain, that she was the hero, that she was the explorer. I told her that she was the smartest person I ever met. I realized then that the definition of a parent is not the person who provides the biology. It is the person who provides the mythology. She built a mythology for me. She built a world where I was the son of a great man so that I would act like a great man. She acted the part of the background character in her own life so that I could be the protagonist. We live in a culture that celebrates the loud, the visible, the successful. We celebrate the CEOs and the athletes. We rarely celebrate the silent architects of that success. The single mothers, the women who play both roles, the women who have to be soft enough to comfort us and hard enough to protect us. My mother wore a mask of mediocrity to protect my potential. I am sharing this story because I know there are people out there right now who are looking at their parents with judgment. You are looking at their old clothes, their slow ways, their lack of sophistication, and you are judging them. You are thinking, I am going to be better than them. But you need to ask yourself, what ground are you standing on to reach that height? You are standing on their shoulders. And sometimes those shoulders are disguised. Sometimes the parent who seems to be holding you back is actually the one pushing you forward with an invisible hand. If you are a single mother listening to this, I want to say something to you. I see you. I see the math you do in your head at the checkout counter. I see the things you put back on the shelf so your kid can have the brand name cereal. I see the tiredness in your eyes that you hide with concealer. You might feel like your kids don't appreciate you. You might feel like they prefer the fantasy of the other parent or the freedom of their friends' lives. But you are building something that cannot be bought. You are building their souls. And to the sons and daughters, go look in the drawers, go look in the boxes. Maybe you won't find a secret identity. Maybe you won't find a stack of blue envelopes. But if you look close enough, you will find the sacrifices. You will find the receipts of a life spent putting you first. My mother was a janitor. She cleaned floors. She took out the trash. But she was also the captain. She navigated me through the storms of life without ever letting me know there was a storm. She steered the ship with cracked hands and an empty stomach. I am going to buy the headstone for her. It isn't going to say, beloved mother. It is going to say, here lies the captain. She gave me the stars while she walked in the mud. Don't wait until you find the box. Don't wait until the funeral. Look at your mother today, really look at her. Look past the nagging, look past the worry, look past the uncool clothes. See the woman who gave up her own story so that you could write yours. And say thank you. Say thank you for the lies, say thank you for the truth, say thank you for the silence. Because the silence of a mother is the loudest love there is. I wish I could go back to that shoe store. I wish I could go back to the moment I screamed at her. I would grab her hand. I would tell her, Mom, I don't need the shoes, I just need you. Let's go home. Let's make the mystery soup. Let's play the electricity game. You are my hero. But I can't go back. All I can do is move forward and try to be half the human being she was. All I can do is tell you. Don't make my mistake. The hero you are looking for is probably sitting right across the kitchen table from you, drinking a cup of lukewarm tea, wondering how she is going to pay the light bill. She is the MVP, she is the CEO, she is the captain. Honor her. Thank you for listening to my confession. If this story made you think of your mom, please share it, send it to her, or just go hug her. And if you are new here, hit subscribe. We tell the stories that matter, the stories that make us human. Take care of your family and keep your eyes open for the blue envelopes in your own life. They are everywhere if you know where to look.